Hi, Christine.
Hi.
I do not
I
consider
really like that suit today, by the way.
It's very nice.
Thank you. I had nothing to do with it. Like pretty
it's
much like the rest of
colorful.
my life. I just put on. My house is like Garanimals. Whatever my wife lays out for me, I put it on. No questions asked. And I go. The
Great
same
wife.
thing here with the wardrobe department. They put it out. I wear it.
I'm the same way. I haven't changed my shoes in 6 days.
Do you take them
Why
off?
would you?
No, what's the point? They're
What's that?
comfortable.
Yeah.
Seriously.
I wear Uggs every day. Can't see them.
I have no interest. I'm really a dumb version of the late Steve Jobs. I just wear the same thing every day. I'm not interested in changing it. He was a genius. I'm
You just said
less than
you're
that.
Steve Jobs.
Now, I'm the lesser intellectual version
Good
of that.
to know.
That's all right.
Okay, so I'm going to get a lot of heat for this probably, but Case Keenum of the Vikings, what franchise quarterback? Are we nuts? This is Miracle on Ice, where Jim Craig, the goalie, beats the Russians, and Atlanta drafts him, and then like an hour later, they're like, he's not really an NHL goalie, he's just a wonderful guy. Would you franchise Case Keenum?
I think all you need to know in regards to Case Keenum is look at the way the Minnesota Vikings have treated Case Keenum. I mean, all the way up to last weekend. Now, remember, middle of the season, he's putting together a great season.
Oh, yeah.
They're talking about the potential of Teddy Bridgewater usurping him when he's healthy enough to play.
Right.
Sam Bradford is the only guy in NFL history, I think, to miss pretty much an entire season with a bone bruise. And last week, they come out and say, hey, listen, we're going to activate Sam Bradford because he's a better thrower of the football. And if Case Keenum struggles, then we'll insert Bradford. They kept Kyle Sloter. Now, I know Kyle Sloter because Kyle Sloter was in Denver, and I was at training camp every single day. And Kyle Sloter cut up. I mean, he was by far, when you watched practice, Kyle Sloter was the best guy at practice between Brock Osweiler and between Paxton Lynch and between Trevor Siemian. He was the best one they had at training camp. Well, Brock was in Cleveland. Brock came later, but he was the best one. And they kept a fourth quarterback on their roster. So all you need to know is that's how they feel about Case Keenum. And he'll get overpaid. Think about Brock Osweiler in 2015. He started 7 games for the Broncos, and he was okay. You know, they won a handful of those games.
He was okay.
He got benched in the 7th game. Now, Elway was like, all right, listen, here's what we're going to give you. We're going to give you $12 million. We're not moving off that mark. No. And then it was 13. Then it was 14. It went up to 16. He got $18 million on the market. 18 a season. Went to Houston, was dreadful. They cut him or sent him over to Cleveland, who paid him this year $17 million to leave.
So Case is going to get money somewhere.
Yeah, he's going to get paid somewhere because there is a dearth of quarterbacks, capable quarterbacks in the National Football League, and you've got to overpay for them. So somebody's going to look at it and go, well, if we, up our defense and if we do this and if we play this way.
By the way, it sounds, when I say it, I feel like a jerk. Don't pay Case Keenum. I want the kid to get paid. But in the end, we do this in sport. It's like alcohol. If you have a little alcohol, you're a little fuzzy. If you drink too much, you lose all perspective. It's the same with sports. A little sports makes us all emotional. A last-second miracle win, we're all nuts. And people are like going crazy on Case Keenum. He's an undrafted 6-foot guy with an average arm that's not overly athletic. Stop. Drew Brees. Now, this is what I don't get. Let's stay on quarterbacks. Drew Brees has a coach that has been increasingly juvenile publicly. They had 3 losing seasons before this one. That coaching staff calls a timeout before the losing play and apparently doesn't tell a rookie safety, tackle, don't pick, or go hit. He is now, can't be franchised. He is a free agent. You're telling me he should stay in New Orleans. He should not seek opinions of others. Denver's defense, Jacksonville's defense, Minnesota's defense. I'm Drew Brees. These athletes only have like 9 years to cut it up financially. Right. I would absolutely take every interview and leave New Orleans. Am I nuts?
I think you're nuts. I think from this standpoint, one, he's very comfortable. He is iconic in New Orleans.
I can buy a sofa on $32 million a year. Comfort's not my number one priority.
I understand that. But you know what? When you're raising your family somewhere and you've already made hundreds of millions of dollars, then all of a sudden it becomes about legacy, championships. I've won one world championship. That's what I want to go for. Look at Tom Brady, $14 million a year at the cap, $20 million total. He's doing pretty well.
Yeah, but he's got Belichick, stability, and a great owner. New Orleans, it was a mess 3 years ago.
Exactly, but they've rectified that. Their offensive line is good. They've got two great running backs. They've got a young wide receiver. They've got a core of players that can play. They've rectified the defensive issues that they have. But here's what I think. Look at your potential to leave. Think about the NFC. Okay, so the last 20 years in the AFC, there's been one path to winning a world championship, having a great quarterback, right?
Right.
It's Brady, it's Manning, or it's Roethlisberger.
You have to have that or you don't win it.
You don't win it. In the NFC, really, when you start thinking about it, you got a second-year guy in Wentz, who's a playoff guy. You've got a second-year guy in Jared Goff. Right?
Got to back up in Case Keenum.
You got to back up in Case Keenum.
So there's a lot of avenues to get there.
Right. I think there's so much more opportunity to stay in the NFC where you're at and have a chance to cement your legacy. You're going to the Hall of Fame regardless, but multiple world championships as opposed to that one ring on your finger?
If you look at your coach that's increasingly juvenile, 3 of your last 4 seasons, you've been a mess. You absolutely supported that franchise through Bountygate and Katrina. You were a wonderful human being. You have given to that city time and time again. You hold 9 all-time NFL records. They can't franchise you. You're not looking around the market a little? A little?
You probably look around, but I think you also look at your own division and go, come on, is Tampa Bay really going to challenge us? Is Cam Newton going to grow up? And are they going to challenge us? The Atlanta Falcons.
I like where Atlanta's going.
A
lot of stability there.
I love their talent, and I love their head coach, but they still seem to have a problem, with the tough decisions and the tough games. I get what you're saying. But you've already made so much money. I just think your best opportunity to win another world championship is right where you're at now.
All right. Maybe I lost that one. Okay. So, listen, here, it never happens in sports where the quarterback, who's a star, calls out the star coach. It doesn't happen 7 times.
Right.
That just doesn't happen. In American sports history, Larry Bird didn't call out his coach 7 times.
Right.
Okay, Big Ben's called out Tomlin 7 times. On Monday, Mike Tomlin was the most vulnerable he's ever been. Big Ben goes on radio, and I mean pointedly hammers him.
Right.
Did not have to go there on the 4th and 1. Did not have to go there. How bad do you think it is?
Oh, I think that Big Ben looks at this roster and says there's no question we should be playing in the AFC Championship right now with the talent that we have. There's no question that we should have had multiple opportunities. It's funny to me that it's okay to challenge John Gruden and say, hey, John Gruden, when he left the Raiders and got traded to Tampa, he won a world championship with Tony Dungy's guys.
Right.
But, I mean, Mike Tomlin won a championship with Cowher's guys and Cowher's culture. And since then, have I ever told you about my summer where I was a plumber's apprentice?
No.
You know what you need to know? This plumber told me there's only one thing you need to know about being a plumber. Do you have any guesses what that might be?
How to plunge a toilet?
Poop flows downhill.
Ew.
It flows right downhill, right? You've got to have a great angle on the pipes.
Could have done without that story.
Right. But here's the point. Here's the point.
Wait, you were actually plunging during this time?
He's a plumber.
No. I was putting the plumbing in, and you have to have the right slope on the plumbing so everything flows.
Yeah.
Correctly.
Okay.
Poop flows downhill. Think about it. So anyhow, the point being is that this is one of the most immature teams in football.
No question.
And it starts at the top. I mean, when Mike Tomlin is, go back a couple of years ago, tripping the kick returner, right? Sticking his foot out. It goes to
Joey Porter when he was coaching.
Well, but talking about, hey, I can't wait for the rematch, and then Mike Mitchell's talking about we'll go play the New England Patriots. Hey, you still got Jacksonville to play. When Le'Veon Bell was asked a question about his contract, you know what a mature team says? He's like, hey, I'll worry about that after we complete our goals. No, he goes in a full dissertation about I won't play next year if they franchise me and all this. No. I'm not talking about that right now. We're playing the Jacksonville Jaguars. That starts at the top.
No.
That's the head coach sets that tone. You're either coaching it or allowing it to happen, and he's allowing it to happen.
I have this theory. I don't know if you were on the show yesterday. Did you hear my theory on Tom Brady? Why? I think you were on Speaking for Yourself.
Yes, I was.
Do you think?
And it was a great theory. Go ahead.
Here's my theory.
Yeah.
That
I love this theory.
Gisele Bundchen's worth $400 million. Brady's worth $200 million. And so the money's flown in, right? Tom Brady, you talk about setting the tone.
Right.
Okay, Christine makes fun of me because my wife, if I'm ever going to go out on a date, always says in the morning, set the tone.
Well, I think
send
that's
a heart
specific to
emoji, send something really nice, set the tone. So Tom Brady doesn't need money. He doesn't need money. Tom Brady every Monday goes on Boston Radio EEI. Now, why would he do that? It's 10 grand a pop. Let's say it's 15 grand a pop. He does that to take Belichick's message on Sunday to the masses in Boston and do a radio hit on a wildly powerful station in Boston, which is then used by ESPN, Fox, iHeartRadio. We all replay it. It's setting the tone. There's no reason to do that. Nothing against radio. I love it. Why would you go on a local radio station when you have a net worth combined of $800 million? You are setting the tone for the week. To your point, the coach and the quarterback set the tone. Tomlin is a player wearing a headset. He talks like a second-year NFL player. He talks about the team 4 weeks out. Mm-hmm. So to your point, I think Big Ben's just absolutely, as he ages, frustrated as heck.
Right. I agree with you. I mean, you look at them, the Steelers have not run a quarterback sneak since 2014. Prior to 2014, do you know what Ben Roethlisberger was on converting short yardage situations with the quarterback sneak?
Good.
18 of 19.
And they haven't done one in 4 years.
4th down and 8 inches, let's run a pitch play. Let's run a toss.
By the way, against the defense.
They got a D-line that's great, linebackers that can run like the wind, and corners who are run support guys, right?
Yes.
And then on 4th down and 8 inches, let's run an RPO and have Ben Roethlisberger throw it. Like, that makes you're 6'5", 260. Fall down. First down. You know, I mean, it's one of the easiest plays in the world to execute, too. I mean, I've been there. I've run plenty of them.
Yeah.
You know,
Elway ran them a ton.
A boatload. I mean, we almost 100% conversion rate on short yardage situations running quarterback sneak. It's so simple. And when I get it's a double A gap, so we couldn't run it. Baloney, you can't run it. Yeah. It's all a wedge zone, and your quarterback takes the ball and basically just goes, okay, let me go to the next gap over. First down. It's pretty simple.
Mark Schlereth brought his A game in a very nice jacket, which he himself did not pick. Good seeing you.
Likewise.
Coming up next, big theory day for me. I've got one on the Cavs and LeBron next, I heard.
As a NASCAR fan, it's exciting because you have your biggest race to kick off the year.